Emily Heller was a witness to that incident today, and she joins me now. Emily, I first just want to say I am so sorry that you had to watch that today, and thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us tonight. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Can you tell me what first brought you out of your house to look at this, or were you even in your house when you first became aware of what was happening?
I was in my house. I was starting my breakfast, and I didn't have shoes on, but I heard the ice whistles. My community is pretty organized around ice raids, so when they see them happening, people gather and blow whistles to alert the community. People come out, and so the whistles did their job. I came out onto my front porch, and there was a woman who was a protester. She was blocking traffic with her car. She was parked perpendicularly. So the like convoy, there was probably 6 or 7 ICE vehicles. So she had blocked the traffic so they couldn't get through. And ICE was screaming at her to move, move, move. And then they got really aggressive and went over to her driver's side door and tried to open her door, and then she obviously got spooked and started to reverse. And then an officer approached her and leaned across, like got in front of her vehicle, and then leaned across the hood of her car and shot her point blank in the face. It was 3 or 4 shots, and then her foot just went all the way down on the gas, and she tried to escape. And then hit a telephone pole and crashed into some cars.
Were there a lot of other people? You said they were blowing whistles, which has become a tool of folks who are doing ICE monitoring around the country, I think starting in Los Angeles. Were there a bunch of people on your block who were outside witnessing this at this point?
Yeah, so neighbors had come out, but there was only, I feel like there were only like 10 protesters or so. And then, but there were a lot of ICE agents. There were, like I said, like 6 or 7 vehicles, and they all had multiple officers in them. So it was dispersed, but it was extremely chaotic. It didn't seem like the ICE agents knew what they were doing. There was no plan. There was no, they didn't have a plan. They just, they seemed totally unprepared.
I want to ask you what happened after the shooting, but one more question just about the context here. This seemed like a very kind of almost sleepy residential street. There was no like threat, or there was no like the thing that alerted you to what was happening was the ice whistles and the presence of ice. There was no disturbance or any threat or anything that they were responding to that you could see.
No, I mean, I assume like the protesters did, that they were trying to enact kidnappings like they have been all over our city.
After after the driver of that car was shot, it hit the lamppost, as you said. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened next?
The woman was slumped over. There was no doubt in my mind that she was fatally shot immediately. So she was slumped over in her vehicle. There was, I assume, a neighbor. He appeared pretty quickly, and it didn't seem like he was with the protesters. He was saying that he was a physician. ICE blocked it off so nobody could get close. But you could clearly see her slumped over in the car. This neighbor was yelling, "I'm a physician. Can I take vitals? Can I get a heartbeat? Like, can I please come administer CPR?" And they were saying, "No, get back. We don't care." And they said they had medics on their way, which took about 15 minutes of her just sitting there. I mean, I assume deceased that whole time, but no life-saving measures were even attempted.
Was there anyone else in the car with her, as far as you could determine?
No, she was. I'd heard from neighbors that there was someone else in the car earlier, but that person had gotten out of the car when she tried to flee.
After EMS came, was she removed from the car? Was she given CPR? Was she put on a stretcher?
I couldn't see. All I saw was EMS arrived. They couldn't get their vehicle through because ICE had all their vehicles parked there. And so the ambulance couldn't get through. They had to park at the end of the block and walk in. So about 5 EMS paramedics came, and then they, I assume, administered care, whatever, examined her. And at that point, they carried her out by her limbs. She was completely limp. They didn't have a stretcher. She was just carried out like a sack of potatoes.
The Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security and the President both characterized this as an attack, a domestic terrorist attack, a ramming attack, an attempt to kill or run over ICE agents. You were there and you saw it. What do you think of that characterization?
That's the only reason why I'm here. I don't think I have the best words right now. I'd prefer to not do this, but I knew after witnessing it that this would be misconstrued into self-defense, which it absolutely is not. This was totally preventable and absolutely unnecessary.
How are the people on your block doing right now, and how are you doing?
Just living on adrenaline right now.
Emily Heller, I know you just said that you were only here to set the record straight about what actually happened in the midst of what our government has been saying about what happened. You had to witness this today, and as I said at the top, for that I am extremely, extremely sorry, but I'm also extremely grateful that you did this tonight. And I and a lot of people really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.